Hello, everybody. This is the video where I reset everything. So I have been doing reset videos for about half the year so far. I love watching other people's reset videos. So yeah, I've been participating in those, and usually they're not too complex. But I have to say, I've been trying to work on annual, monthly, quarterly, I don't know. Resetting my goals this year has been really hard. And I want to not only represent that, but also connect to people who are having trouble right this time as well. um, it's it's complicated, right? And maybe I am overcomplicating things. I have in the past, when I look at my yearly goals, I change so many of them. Like I look at them, for instance, like this is my new one in my Makselife, but of course I'm not really starting here. But and I've mostly gone through this. I haven't 100%. So, and I'm trying to keep it simple. Let's see. Trying to pull up my goals and trying to see. Okay, so just looking at these, just looking at the layout, like my goodness, I went to town on these. I think I was trying to get excited about these, and really get into them, but I just look at these and go, wow, this is a hot mess. And that's okay. Like, what? I don't blame myself for being this way. I don't. And, I look at this and yeah, I mean, there's some things that I did. Sorry, I'm kind of taking apart my, yeah, I did here, I'll share my vision board for last year. And the number one thing that I kind of did was this. I have a chair that I sit on with art, and it's like a nice little area to do my videos and things. This was kind of to represent like helping people, and to try to be on Instagram more. Like I had a couple of these the last couple of years, to try to inspire myself to be on Instagram, and this one was more real. The magazines I was getting had like all these kind of Instagram kind of looks, and I still kind of like these. And this was like I needed glasses. I need glasses, and I had to reschedule my eye appointment. So, I see some fun in here. I don't mind sharing this. I think, there's a lot of inspiration here. But like I guess what I'm trying to say with a lot of these is they felt incongruent within about a month. They didn't fit me anymore, even after a month. And like this was like this level, trying to get to this level over the course of a year. I still haven't done, let's see. So I did this at the beginning of last year, and these dots were where I wanted to be. I still want to kind of do this a little bit more, and maybe I will during this. Yeah, these were my scores last year. Let's see. I believe I can. I don't know. I look at these and I'm just like, yeah, I put a lot of effort into it, but I didn't check in with them much because I don't feel like they applied. With, I mean, some of them did. Let's see. For like here, like us, like I've talked about, we paid off a lot of debt that we had, and we were having a lot of meetings. to just stay on track. And Monarch is our tracker, and we wanted to save and invest. And, you know, we did a lot of work on our garage. We didn't do much on the shed because it's kind of the last thing, and it was sometimes too hot or too cold to be out there. Like in here, stuff I did at home was more like I did a lot of purging of holiday stuff and clothing and other stuff. Like, I look at all this, but I really, like, I did talk to a nutritionist, but it was kind of too early in my journey. And a lot of things shifted in my health over the course of the year. And, you know, I have a lot of food intolerances. So, like, eat better to regain comfort. So, like, really staying within the foods that I could eat. And then wondering, like, is there something else? And during the course of this whole year, yeah, there was a huge diagnosis that I got and infusion medicine that I'm on now. And so, you know, it just shifts so much. So when I look at these, I really want to take a whole new approach. I feel these are so full. I feel like they are sometimes based on what other people say, sometimes based on expectations, sometimes based on this fanciful, what is it? I'm going to say fanciful. You guys can correct me. Self that I, you know, but this is how I've been goal planning for a lot of my life. It's always been kind of like this. And then every time I look back at these, I'm just like, this doesn't feel like something I could constantly check in with, because I kept feeling guilty when I would look at these. I'm like, haven't done that. But actually, I'm just looking at this. A lot of this I did do. So there's elements, right? Keep Mondays, Fridays, and Sundays free. I didn't do any watercolor this year, but I did use like my small camera more. I tried it, then realized this camera here, my phone, is better. So I've been using that a ton more. So yes, I'm using a small camera more. It just wasn't this small camera. And it's all in pencil, but I also like, there are a lot of stickers, a lot of colors on here. Which to me makes it hard for me to read all of this and want to check in with it more. And so this is inspiring me. This is compost. This is like information for me to do things differently this year. And I think as I'm going through this book and kind of reflecting and kind of wrapping up December, I did do a December reflection in my journal. But just going through these, and so like my wins this year, let me move this out of the way because it's distracting. Getting to 100 podcast episodes, setting up this whole YouTube channel. Like, I'm just meeting so many amazing people through this, and well, it's also my thankful. Let's see. Having a really simple recording setup for this. And that is really key for me because it keeps me coming back if something is really simple to do. So if it's recording a podcast or recording these videos, I have a very simple setup. It's my phone on a tripod, and I do have like a Blue Yeti microphone up on a arm up here. And that's it. And it's connected to my laptop. So let me light a candle and get a little bit more intentional with what I'm talking about. So I do appreciate kind of looking at what is the truth of this last year. And that's what this is. I got to do a bunch of donations. I got some new clients. I keep my client load pretty low because of all the stuff I'm going through. I need a lot of blank space in my work. I got a couple our family got a couple tech upgrades. I didn't really this year. No, not too much, no. Um, and one was like moving a used TV into the bedroom. Like for some people, they want the TV out of the bedroom. But for me, because I have days where I have to be in bed, moving it into here was just so nice. It was so nice to be able to it was allowing me to rest more, to back off more instead of trying to push myself. So, yeah, and we got a few new little appliances at the end of the year here. I got some new mugs and some new art. And to me, these are wins because they kind of show that there's a cycle of me bringing in things into my home consciously and saving up for them and like experiencing this cycle of, I don't know, to me it's a win, you know. And then water and rest, although I keep water and rest as a highlight for something, you know, I want to do next year. The highlights were actually getting the diagnosis and actually seeing some improvements through the new meds that I'm taking. I'm sorry if it's a little hard to see this. Maybe if I hold it up for a moment. And then I took 2 trips over to Leavenworth, that's close to here in the Seattle area. And to me, that was amazing. I was like inspired both times. Once I saw it with fall leaves, once I saw it with snow. And yeah, like I really wanted to experience the seasons, and that allowed me to. And Labor Day, I kind of think backwards sometimes when I'm doing this. Labor Day, if you've been around, you heard me talking about like, it was one of the rare times I was out in public and shopping because I don't do that much because I'm immunocompromised, and they had all the doors open, and so it was really nice. Like I still masked up but was able to smell the candles in there, right? Like that was a big deal. And to like bring home these new scents and back to school in person for my son was a big deal. It's a big deal. I'm not saying it was 100% positive, but it was a big deal because he's been at home for at least 2 years. My husband and I had this really awesome date day where we went to a restaurant store, and we love picking out new like cooking items together, and then we had lunch together, and then we went to the Asian market together and picked out some really good stuff. Like it was really cool. And then watching some shows with him that we've both really enjoyed. One was Abbott Elementary, another was Lower Decks, the Star Trek one. What else did we watch? Oh, early in the year was all of Schitt's Creek. I had watched it once, and then seeing it again with him, he loved it. He was sad when we wrapped up. Enjoying music and candles, and then other amazing shows that I watch. I watch so many shows, and I have it on in the background when I work, but I also, if I need to rest my body, it really helps. Yeah, there's just so many. Maybe I'll make a list sometime. And then the business group that I'm in. See, I started writing things here, but I realized it was in this wrong area. So challenges were my infusions. Both of them have like this opposite effect. So the medicine I'm getting is not so bad getting it, but it's like the next week I'm not doing well. And I had to remind myself because I got one about a week ago, like right before Christmas, and my energy was a lot lower at Christmas than I expected because it had been 8 weeks, and it knocked me out. It really did. But then the iron infusions were really hard to get. Like they were multiple hours, and I could, without being too graphic, I can feel it pumping around. And to me, that's like one of my nightmares, honestly, is like feeling inside my body like that. And so I'm just super stressed out the whole time. I brought my mom to help comfort me and calm me down a little bit because I get panic attacks. And she was there, and she helped a lot, and to get through them. But then each time I would feel better afterwards. So interesting challenges, some family relationships we're working through. Insurance, we're still bugging for the first 2 infusions last year. The new insurance is covering them no problem. Like, they've already processed everything except for last week's. Like, they're like, yeah, we're on it. You're covered. You're good. And the old insurance is like, I don't know about that September one. Well, there were 2 in September. We're still catching up. So stamina and working on my biz and trying to see how I can show up in my business in a way that, and I'm finding some solutions in that. I'm finding that with the way I do check-ins with my clients, of them being very quick, 15 minutes, but multiple times throughout the week, I can do that. I can get through 15 minutes. Sometimes it's a little bit more if someone needs a little bit more help, but for the most part, like I know that there's a start and an end. And so it really does help to know, like, I can do tidbits. I'm getting some more ideas for like hour-long services. And there's 2 ideas I have brewing. So, and what I was putting here for lessons, what did I learn about myself, was actually the growth stuff. Where have I changed? So I just moved these. I'm trying to discern which one is which here. And when I watched Cindy and Larkin, no, not Larkin, sorry, that's another friend of mine, Lakin, they're both planners, and when I watched them kind of go through something similar, especially Cindy's, it really helped to see how to answer these, because sometimes I don't understand the instructions. So for growth, like, I can look at the after, and what that means is, like, sometimes I ruminate so much on something that's hard that's coming up that I forget that there's an after, or I don't even think about it. And so this worst thing that I have to go through, I just, like, leading up to the time and when it's happening, I just replay over in my mind. And what I really practiced this year was thinking, okay, but after that's done, what do I get to do after that? Like, and for my infusions, it's getting a Starbucks, because that's the only time I get Starbucks. And for other, like, really hard things, like other procedures I've been having done, it's more than that. It's like getting to watch a show or have takeout or just something that, you know, just helps remind me on the other side that I got through it. Another one is putting money to work instead of working for my money. That's been something I've been practicing the last couple years, and it's really, like, this year was the time that our trackers were saying everything was going to be paid off, and then they happened. Some other things came up. I shared, like, in a recent plan with me, like, oh, there's some more car work we need done. We have a bigger thing we're saving for. So it's never ending. That's the other thing, is, like, there is no I've made it in personal growth and living life. There is no I win at life. So I have an opinion. Actually, I'll share here in a moment after we kind of get through these. And then I can keep learning while advocating for myself. So this was like when I was talking with doctors and I was insisting, no, like, something is kind of not feeling right here. I can still learn from them where they say, well, here's an example of, like, if this was really happening with you, because I can look at a lot of symptoms and wonder, just like a lot of us, worst case scenario, what is happening? And I did feel like something else sort of serious was going on, and I didn't think it was life-threatening, but I did think it was something that needs to be addressed. And for the most part, you know, the doctor said, well, if you were experiencing that, it would look like this. And so I learned from that. I'm going, oh, yeah, it doesn't look like that, but I still feel like there's something going on in addition to what I've been diagnosed with. So I mean, I have I have a few diagnoses, but it did help to have an open mind and say to myself, like, I can learn and I can listen and I can hear what they're saying, but also say, but yeah, I know myself. There's something else going on. I am a lot further in my learning than I thought. So there's been a lot of, it can be just world stuff that I've been working really hard on, whether it's social justice stuff, whether it's family dynamics, whether it's just a lot of things. I'm in my mid-40s and I love to learn. And I am also really proud of how far I've come with all of my learning. And what it was interesting was I was taking some other classes and realizing that what they were covering, I just realized this is kind of dirty around here. And it's just going to be because I'm very low energy this week. I realized that I was just a lot further than some people, that I had made a lot of progress. But a really key thing in those situations is not to go, oh, they're like, they don't know that yet, or they are not as far along as me. Like, that's not the attitude to take. And what really helps everyone is to help people who may not be seeing something clearly yet. And I still learned things. Like, I still sat in those classes going, oh yeah, I hadn't heard that yet. So I'm always learning something, or I've forgotten about it because I often forget about things. That's just how my brain works. And so revisiting it over and over really helps. And really saying, I know what it's like to be in the position of getting defensive about things and to go, there's no way that that's true. But our brains love to deny a lot of things. They love to just say, that can't be true. I've never experienced that. And that's the whole point. If you've never experienced it, it's probably because that you're really lucky you don't get to. And when you do have an inkling of it, or you are hearing someone else's story, we need to listen, and we need to really accept that that's their lived experience. Yeah. So I don't know. I like seeing that my old goals, how much I've grown from that. Like, there's something really, really important about that. Plus, I think a lot of people, the few people I'm watching about goals, I watched like 3 or 4 so far, they're keeping things really simple this year. They are cutting out a lot of things. And that's where I'm like, yes, I didn't realize so many were. I was looking at, I sat down to watch these YouTube kind of resets and goals and things this last week. And I said, I just don't think I'm going to have as many as they do. And then when I watched theirs, they're like, nope, we're not having many this year. And I'm like, yes, something has shifted a little bit. I think something has been like, no, I'm going to make goals just for me this year. And I guess not let the expectations of the world push things on me, I guess. So I'm inspired by that. I'm really grateful for our health benefits right now. They are covering so much. And I know we have had some really, I want to swear, but I'm not. Usually I swear. Usually I don't filter myself. But I know on YouTube, sometimes we have another kiddo in the room or something. So we've had really bad benefits in the past. We've worked through some really hard situations. And it's been just, it's appalling here in the US. It really is. And I know people who either don't have insurance or don't have enough of it, and their conditions are costing just so much, so much. So I'm just so grateful. Like, this is kind of our first really solid year of things going, okay, well, our benefits are a lot better. Even the first half of the year before my husband changed his job, they were, at least those were better. Because he was a contractor before that, and contractors don't get great benefits, or they cost so much. So yeah, I'm just really thankful for that. My YouTube friends here, all my YouTube friends here, I'm just so grateful for all of you and the friends that I've been able to make, and I consider you friends. I want to get to know you. I feel like, I would love for you to say hi below. Say hi. I would love to get to know more of you. I had 2 interviews. One was with Gilly the Sunshine Wizard. I might link these both below if you want to listen to them. Gilly's is amazing. They are an amazing spirit, and I keep watching all of their, I guess, shorts on here and reels on Instagram, whatever you want to call them. And there's just so much love pouring from them that even when they have hard days, it's just really inspiring, even though they need support too. And with Yesha, it was actually Yesha, I believe. It was lovely to hear how to create, how to let inspiration flow through you into something physical. She creates mugs and ceramics and things, and to see that she takes in nature, observes it, enjoys it, and then comes home and creates these beautiful things that people can use every day. Oh, I was like, what is this? Delivery and pickup. And this is just how I'm navigating the world right now. So whether or not we're having deliveries to the house, we have a weekly milk person come in our area, but they bring a little bit more than that. I couldn't go out and get milk as often. And to have that support there is amazing. Now, they couldn't come last week because there was an ice storm, but and that did kind of throw off things, but I was really lucky. I did a pickup order before that, and we had just enough for all the holidays. I know probably a lot of people were stuck a bit because this was the week for everyone to get their holiday hams and turkeys and prime ribs and all that kind of stuff, and they couldn't get them out in time. So I don't know if I don't know what they're doing. The fact that my husband's working at home is a huge thing. He's helping, pick up our son, dropping him off, and that's a huge help. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, I guess I did some more. What's working, savings plans, med schedule, planners and calendars. Sleep schedule's doing okay. Like last night was like the first night I got some really good sleep, even though I'm still super tired. Like, I'm more tired than I thought I'd be. So I'm just taking it easy. What's not working, water consumption. I want to up that some more. I'm doing a whole lot better. The water bottle I have works really well. I've sorted out the math on it, and then I have a cup next to it, and I can measure it out so I know how much I'm getting. And I'm working on lowering stress levels. Now, you see there's like some things. This is about as far as I got. And then impact and adjustments, I still want to work on a little bit. And then I just started here with reflections. Words to describe how I felt. Relief is just one word. And then what do I want to stop apologizing for? Feeling like a burden. Stop apologizing for asking questions. Like, I don't want to ever apologize for asking questions. So I feel like I'm pushing myself if I do any more of this right now. I don't mind revisiting this, but that's as much as my brain could do right now. And that's okay. So going to the new one, this is January goals. Now that's the last thing I did want to do. So When I look at, so today is December 28th, so we're not too far. I'm just going to put that on top. I think you can see that. Okay. So these monthly goals are making it a whole lot easier for me. I don't like it like that. It's making it a whole lot easier to look at this as in chunks and look at things in smaller bits. And so when I look through this, it's the opposite of, oh, and I use these little stickers. The opposite of what I feel when I look at that big goal, these big goal pages over here. Like, this to me is much more calming than this. That's okay. I experimented. I wanted to have stickers to draw me back in, and it just didn't work, and that's okay. So I wanted to do some more IG stories. That did not happen. Oh, these are stickers. They're a little harder to write on. And that's okay. I kind of want to give up that goal right now. I'm like, I gave it a chance, and right now it's not working, and that's okay. We didn't actually, I just realized we didn't see one set of holiday lights. We were going to do that with my mom. I'll have to see. But I did have a lot of movie nights and watching a lot more holiday stuff than I thought I would. I feel like I miss out a lot each year, that I only get to see a couple. And I made it a point to kind of sit down and watch some that I really did want to see again, and that was important to me. I took a little bit more time off, and that feels really good. Like, I'm not doing podcasts or newsletters or no client support right now, and that's good. Like, I really needed this week off. And every year I kind of remind myself, don't schedule anything this week. I even moved. I had another health appointment or two that I moved this last week, and I appreciate that was a gift to myself. Now there's one tomorrow morning I still need to do. It's pretty important that we go do that. So, but next year I'm going to write a little note somewhere saying, don't schedule anything. Just don't. It's so tempting because my son's off of school, and so it's like, we'll try to fit some of these in so he doesn't have to miss any school. That's the only internal fight that I'm having. Yeah, so none of that happened. Okay. These happened. Wow, I don't like these stickers all of a sudden. I had my infusion and rest and water. Definitely been doing a lot of journaling and pulling cards. Now the cards, actually, I'm going to do one more thing here. We are getting a little further with these bills, so things are moving, and it's not going to change much until next month. So, meaning we're still tracking some bills. They're still meandering their way through. I donated the holiday decorations. Oh, I got these. Yeah, I had a donate. That's right. I'm like, wait a minute. I already marked that off, and I forgot, like, it was one of these that I had marked it off. The weekly thing. And that's the thing. It's like there's weekly, there's monthly, there's annually. There's so many. So yeah, this was so much easier to get through, and this is what I want the yearly goals to be. So I'm going to take a little pause now before we jump into these. I may do January and then flip. Well, we'll start here. So what I like to do, and then one other key thing, I did realize that, yeah, this is the 2023 one. This one I've talked about before. This is the magicofI.com. This is their planner. I've written nothing in here. So this is where I journal and I write down a lot of things. Now here, I did kind of, they have 8 areas of life just like Makselife, and I moved some around a little bit. So I will be tracking some in here. And I realized I can put stuff in here that's too personal to show in my Makselife. So I can actually show my Makselife without worrying about what can be shown. So I will be including those here. But for now, I do want to do just a little bit of work in here. And this is what I do every year. I'll just leave that right there. Is I use this deck. And so this is a container I got, I think it was online. It's from Japan. I'm not sure what was actually stored in here. It's very heavy. Is it silver? My guess is that it's silver because it's kind of tarnishing. But I keep my deck, the Future Ancestor deck, in here. And Alexa, who is a total sweetheart, made this deck. She also made some other, I have some of her pottery ware as well. This is like just one of my favorite decks. And usually when something pops out like that, then I pay attention to it. But I'm doing a special thing right now that I do every year. And I thought it might be nice just to kind of show you and maybe write them down. And one more shuffle because it feels right. And this one popped up for some reason. So this will be all year long. And then I'm going to pick out, I am going to pick out 12 more for my wheel for one each month. And I've done this is my 3rd year doing it. It can't be any longer than that because she came out with that a couple years ago. During the pandemic? I think so. So this will be January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, December. Okay. Ooh, let's not catch those on fire. How about that? So what I'm going to quickly do is I keep these in my personal one. So yeah, 1 o'clock would probably be there. 1, 2, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Approximately, you know. So let me, I'll write down the definitions later, but I found these to be so spot on. They just help so much throughout the whole year. And so where I would write that then is January is justice. Here. So in this one I have intentions, and I'll put justice here. And then I go into February. And I'll just keep writing off screen here. So it's the lovers. And then I write the definition. Now her definitions are so short. They're like this short, and it's so nice to be able to write something really quick. And she also came out with a book that has much longer descriptions. So I'm thinking about getting that, although I just love how simple it is that I can just pop in here. So we have the lovers. So we have these two done. This is 8 of Cups. And then April is 3 of needles. And then we have the Tower for May. Ooh, sounds like something's coming up in May, which it can. It really could. That really is funny. Funny? Very interesting. And in May, I'll reveal that if that actually happens. And then June. Let me find June real quick. Is Listener of Cups. July is 10 of Candles. Please bear with me for just a little bit longer here. 9 of Needles. Because this will be a really interesting year for us, because if things line up how we want them to, it'll be a little softer, but if something else happens, it'll be quite a different thing. Quite a big change. So we'll see. And no, it's not another kid. I will say that. 7 of Needles. Needles. November. Come here, November. Ace of Candles. And the last one. Now I used to have these also written in my Makselife, but I wasn't using them as much there. 8 of Candles is the last one. And for the year, it's the Alchemist. So I will write that here. I'll show you where I wrote it. Alchemist. Okay. Spelling. So thank you for your patience. I wrote it here. I might erase it and make it a little easier, but this is going to be like the 5 things I'm focusing on most, but it really helps to kind of have it all here. So let me then, now I'm able to pick this all up and put it away and get back to. Now what I'll do when I make my monthly kind of goals is that I will look at that information and kind of consider it as I go. So I'll put this back in here. Now the Alchemist for the whole year, I will read that one. All the tools you need to create magic for yourself and your community are within your reach. Use your power and energy wisely. Right here. Yes, please. That sounds like the best for the year for me right now. And that sounds amazing. So let's kind of get as much down here as what feels good. Do monthly real quick, then based off of those. And I'll show you how this kind of works. So I did do a separate video on making a yearly tracker. And these are kind of are these the new colors? And then I used the old colors I was using for the dot things here. Like this is the brighter yellow, and now I'm kind of shifting and trying some other things. But this is perfectly fine for me. This is going to work great. So I'm going to leave this marker there because I think I might swap back and forth. So I may go through these in a different order. Let's see. yeah, I'm hoping to get this done in about 15 so I don't go over an hour here. I want to look at these, as I was saying, as something really, really simple. And I think I want to start with financial because I'm the most clear about that. So I only want to put, I don't want to put any stickers down. I want to keep these fluid. And that card for the year reminds me that I have the tools that I need. And I actually do feel that this year. And I want to use my current budgeting tools. I want to use our plans that we have right now. So, but there may be a new system that's coming into my life that I want to be open to as well. I feel like I'm 80% there. I guess most people feel about 80% anywhere in their lives. I don't think we ever reach 100% on anything. But what I don't like is writing here and in here. There's something about these spaces I've never liked how it looks there. So I'm just going to stay to the grid. And I love doing just a little dot, and maybe later I'll put something. But I also am having a thought here. No. Okay. So this is a thought, but I'm going to share it, but I'm not going to do it. There's a reason why I want to kind of track my goals over the year, and I'm just kind of looking at financial here. I want to say that I'm checking in with my finances and doing something every month here. And so what I can do is here say that, what do we call that? So I watched one woman's, she's renaming it from budgets to like money flow. So checking in, not checking in. It's, I'm trying to think of the name. Reconciling and tracking. So with what that means is I make sure that I'm categorizing everything for my business and everything for personal so I can see where those summaries end up. So that's something really important for me to have done by the end of the year. And to me, that's simple because it is really important to me. If I do nothing else, this would make me feel really, really good. So I'm not going to add much more. I want to complete our big savings goal. That would be huge. And I want to, let's see, there's 2 spaces there. I want to invest. I don't like how I'm writing that. Something feels a little wrong there. And I know all of these are kind of in motion. And I'm going to cut it off there. There may be more things that I want to add to this. And maybe I'll erase it and have like just one space in between. So I have a little bit more space there, and I'll do that off camera. So maybe as I'm going through these other ones, I'll just leave one space. I kind of just wanted a lot of space around each one. So maybe I'll just leave it like that because I really love how this feels. How simple is that? Like, I may have other monthly goals, but they can kind of come and go. The things that I want to check in every month, as in on this spread, I know I keep flipping back and forth. I want to say that I checked in with all 3 of these. Now, this could be, we hope, and in June, that this is something that happens. And we're on track for it. And so I may only track it halfway through. But it's yearly because it's across multiple months. So I will say that. Now, last year I had like a bunch of things for environment. But what do I really want to feel successful? So I'm just kind of lining this up because I like to do that. For me, I want to do some more work in our garage. Yeah, I'm just going to space them out too. And then work in our shed. I'm trying to think what else. And then I just want to donate more. Because there's just a whole lot everywhere. But to me, that means like every month, maybe focusing on a different area. So, why didn't I put the book in there? There we go. So I have shed, I have laundry here. And I think that's just the laundry room itself. So I would rather put shed and garage as our big projects. Now, we've made a lot of progress, but because I'm revisiting them, I want to take it to the next level. I feel like I've done the first pass on them. And I'll put donate here because these are the 3 big things. And I think if I have these here, I'll realize like that's what I want to do. And I think what I'll do is I'll write them here too. So I'll just put tracking instead of reconciling. And that's the point of using this one so that I can just look at here and then go, okay, what's my yearly that I'm checking on every time? I'll just say June goal and then invest. Now, last year I put like my theme. So I had like kind of a saying here. I had like stay focused on budget or something like something a little nebulous. And it was nice to have like a theme, but to me, it didn't directly correlate to what I'm supposed to actually be doing. Like for some, like having that theme of like staying on budget, and then every single month you say, okay, I'm going to stay on budget for food this month. I'm going to stay on budget for this month. And then keep practicing that so each one of your budgets gets stronger. But for me, I'd rather say, no, I am directly looking at this as checking these off here. And I can erase one of these and put something else in and just like say that I'm doing something else from that point on. I don't have to be too rigid, and that's why I do things in pencil. So I'm liking this. I'm keeping it really, really simple. Like even my brain's going, yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, for health, it'll be my infusions for the year. A big one that I want to increase is water. Rest, I'm doing better on. Sorry, I tapped the camera. And so I think I'll keep tracking that. But if I want to be like really happy at the end of the year, this is what I want to focus on. So infusion, I'm going to say support because I have to get the infusions, but it's the way I'm supporting myself. And sometimes that's taking some pre-meds, that's making sure I get enough water, or asking for support to be there, or having things afterwards, or taking time off to support those. Now, fortunately, I only have 6 a year, but I have a feeling I'll have to redo my iron again. So there may be quite a bit. Yeah, I got my iron results back and they were not as high. So, but it's slow progress. What else for health? Oh, lining up my new doctor. And plus anything else. 2 eyes. Because there are some other things, as I was saying, that I still want to ask for support for. And so, yeah. So when I look at this, I'm just like, this feels just so clear and simple and precise and year long. And something I can handle right now. Like I can wrap my head around these because I'm really, all of these so far is like things I'm bringing from last year. So now spiritual is something that I invite flow into other areas of my life. And this year, I definitely want to invite it into my business and health. Okay, so why is this so simple? I just did, pulling my cards for the year. To me, that is going to be the support throughout the year. So I'll put cards. And I want to, I feel like that supports me throughout. And the community who also does the same kind of things that I do, like that provides inspiration as well. So I'm halfway through. Let's see. I'm doing kind of the hard ones last, if you can tell. Personal to me is always so hard because I get it mixed up with like spiritual, and I also get it mixed up with like work and learning. Now, work to me, I'm always learning at work, but to me, learning is more personal. And spiritual, you're always growing. And so like to me, learning and growing is personal. And so what is described here though is like self-image, self-worth, self-care, confidence, happiness, peace. So I keep coming here to look at everything. And there's, if you haven't ever seen this, I know you can download it off their site. I keep coming back to this, and like sense of community to me is more like fun or spiritual. I always get confused. Planning, I think, is a big one. So having my planning routines. And then my self-care, which sometimes I struggle with, being so tired sometimes, to me is really, and I've been talking about this all year, is my hair, because it allows me to feel really confident. It's hard. It's hard when you feel like you should show up no matter how you look, but then also feel like that's just a really important part of how you want to show up in the world. Not that you have to, but it's just something that I feel really good about. So, what else? I don't do makeup. That's the thing. Is like I don't do it, and so I don't mind showing up without makeup. It's just me. And I actually have, well, would that be under health? I'm going to put it here. So this is teeth, and I got a new electronic toothbrush and system, and I'm going to the dentist a whole lot more, and there's all that kind of stuff, and it does give me a lot of confidence in that area. Would I do a video maybe if I didn't brush my teeth right before hopping on camera, yeah, like that's not as important as hair is to me. That's just me. Like this. So I'll just say that is like, that can be my personal thing. That's just how I feel. Okay. And then another one would be, I've been putting music and candles down here. That's a good question. I think I'm going to put it up here because it's a personal thing. And then like candles. So it's kind of making like the mood that really helps propel me into a lot of other things. And then I'll also put cycles here because it was something I worked on all last year. So cycles as in, well, it can be anything from just going with the flow of my menstrual cycles of like how much energy I have at certain times, or it can be how often I am doing something. So if it's cleaning the bathroom or buying food or washing my hair or any kind of things like that, I want to carry that through. Okay, moving on. So for fun, I am still playing Magic the Gathering most days. And I was going to build a new deck over this last week, and I have had not enough time. I think all of this planning stuff, me trying over and over of trying to get into this, was too much. I think I pushed myself too much and then expected too much, and it didn't allow me to have that fun. So kind of remembering to come back and going, no, there's some fun here to be had. I do want to put watercolors back on here. And if I want that to change, I can have it change. I would like to do some walks in the park. So I just want to put park here. And it looks like dark, but there we go. I want to go to the park and possibly do some photography there. That was something I wanted to do last year, but I hadn't really. And so there, it's very simple. Okay, last two sections. And I'm still very much, I'm trying to keep myself going, okay, what would I be proud of in a year? What, now if I look at these last two things here and I'm like, I never even touched these, I'd be okay. If I look at not playing music all year, that would make me a little sad. So it's okay. I think you can have both. I think you can have like, look, if I don't have much here and I just put 3, knowing that I'm going to erase a couple, that's okay. But if I know I'm putting like really important things, then yeah. So for relationships is therapy right now, and I would love to continue that all year. My son and husband, like, I'm just gonna say like outing or a trip. I'm going to rephrase that. There's something else here. There's 2 things coming up. So I want to do a trip with my husband. And I've already put his name down, Mike. It's our 20th wedding anniversary this year. And I want to do something special for it. And that's all I'll say. So, yeah. And then supporting my son. That's too nebulous. Okay. So this, okay, now what I'm thinking, just to like kind of clue you in, I'm looking at these going, okay, those dots on the next pages here, how can I look at these and go, okay, well, I went to therapy every month. We planned for this trip with my husband every month, or at least part of the way through. What else can I put on here as something that I can track and that I can check in with? Again, it doesn't have to be every month. It can be something that's a couple months and ends. It can be picked up halfway through the year. And to me, what's coming up is school for my son. And I think there's going to be something really important when he starts middle school. I think there's going to be something really important there that this is going to need. We're going to have to solve it somehow. I don't know. Business. This is my hardest one because this one always feels like I'm putting things on here that don't happen. And to me, this is kind of the most disappointing one. And I really do want to make some big shifts here. This would be the most important one. And so this, I'm willing to say, is going to take me more time to form. And I'm going to just start. And over the next month, I would love to get this really clear for the rest of the year. I want to spend more time in this area longer than this video. So I will start with the group that I am in and the modules that we're going through and like videos. To me, that's like the foundational part. And then my next part I will put here is offers. And that's all I'm going to do. Because I have put so many things here, and that's what can get me feeling really discouraged. But when I see those two things, I feel encouraged. So these are my annual goals, and I won't bore you with what I'll do next is right at the bottom what I'm tracking. And so for instance, when I look at the work one, just really quick, I'm going to put group and offers here, but there's going to be more room for me to add more on here, but at least every month I can look at these. And so now when I look at January, which is on the previous pages here. So we went over December. I know this is like end of the year plus also January reset. Now, and this is why I'm like, I wanted to jump to these, but not quite yet. And I know we're almost done. We're almost done. So now I can look at, I keep losing the page. Now I can look at these and transfer them to every month. And I really do come back and look at this, and I will erase things and change things. And I also am noting like what is actually happening. And anything personal will be tracked in my other one. So for January goals is, I wish this was grid, is the new doctor. And water are my key two things. Flow, I want to put into business right now. January is going to be really flowing into business. And then this is still insurance. What are they called? Claims coming through, keeping it really simple here. Physical environment is going to be holiday, it's org and put away. And we kind of will do that on like the 1st and 2nd. So maybe that's kind of like an easy thing. I might take a little bit longer if there's stuff as I'm putting things away. I love to take a little extra time to write notes on the outsides and say what's in there, so it makes it easier for next year. I want to write a little note to myself. Let me put that here. To say like, hey, this is what we did last year. I hope you have a good next year. But also getting anything out of there that like I don't want anymore. So it might take me a little bit longer to donate. I am so thankful right now. I donated earlier in December because right now I would be rushing and trying to get my last donations in for any kind of taxes, but I am done with that. And then I don't mind donating again in January. So personal, let's go back to yearly. So I have my planning routines. I want to say I'm working on, like, hair's doing okay. I want to work on teeth. And I know, again, seems more, like, to me, right now what I'm going through with teeth is actually more health related. So for some people, they would just put it over there. For me, there's something else here saying, no, this is a personal goal because this is something I've kind of struggled with personally. And that's my reason. You can put it somewhere else. And then just kind of having music and candles. And look, I'm doing it right now, except for the music. I'm going to keep it really easy on the fun and recreation because January is not the best month to go to parks unless we have some warmer weather. So I'm just going to keep it to this and try to see if I can build that deck I was wanting to. Watercolor is another one I could do, but I kind of want to save that for spring. And then the group and offers is what I want to start here. And then therapy. Let's see if I can write. I hate writing on when it's like on the edge down here. And then, setting up that goal for a trip. So I'm going to put trip here and then turning it into almost like a financial goal, but like kind of working it out. It's more of an ideas right now, and then as time goes on. So in the past, I put like some stickers here and divided things up. I am just so into like, how can we keep this the simplest it can be? And to me, this makes this highly accessible. This makes it really simple. This makes it as, hey, if I want to add something, there's room to add something. Maybe it's January 15th and I'm like, oh, I want to put this on. So it allows me to check in more. I'm not afraid to look at these. And I'm not afraid to like come back here and take a quick look at these and keep it really simple. So I think that's it. I thank you for sticking around. I'll have these filled in, and this will be more of a tracker instead of saying specific things. Last year I actually put like more about what we were actually working on there, but I want to track them a little bit more down here. So then I'm off to the next week. And so that's what I'm going to film right now. But I just wanted to thank you. I'll turn it back here. Thank you for joining me and letting me go through all this big reset, even though it to me doesn't feel as big now. And I want to thank you because I didn't know starting off this video if I could hold on to that goal of keeping it really simple, and I did. I'm proud of myself, and I want to say thank you for joining me on that journey, that little mental journey. And yeah, now I feel like I can go on into January, start looking at January, and really keeping it focused, like keeping it really just a couple things. The other thing I will say, you don't have to fill these all in. You could have like a health like goals that just start halfway through the year. You could have nothing in spiritual, you could have nothing in financial, whatever it is. Leave space. If you don't have anything, it's okay. Like I could go back here and maybe I want to erase everything under fun and just let it happen. Let fun happen. And that would be okay. This may be as far as I get with my business goals. And actually, if it's just these two things, I actually would be really proud because this keeps it really simple. I've overcomplicated so many things. And so I want to keep checking in. This makes it, yes, I want to look at these things. So thank you so much. And thank you for joining me. And I'll see you next time. Bye.